This is Catholic Forum. I'm Bob Krebs. Marie Miller is a folk pop singer songwriter and recording artist living in Nashville, Tennessee. She is a multifaceted artist and speaker who weaves music, humor, and storytelling to convey God's love for us and our opportunity to share that love with others. She's been recording since the age of 17 and has opened for the Backstreet Boys, the Wallflowers, and others. She also performed for Pope Francis in front of almost a million people during the Festival of Families in Philadelphia. Marie's latest project is titled The Way of Love, a musical presentation inspired by the life of St. Therese of Lisieux that blends song and spoken words with the aim of instilling greater trust in the merciful and transformative love of God. And I'd like to welcome to Catholic Forum Marie Miller.
It's great to be here.
It's great to see you and to talk with you. And we're going to be talking to about your new project. Before we do, let's get to know you a little bit more. Tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up, and how did you get involved in music?
Yes, so I grew up in Virginia and I actually just moved back to Virginia. So I
Oh,
lived in Nashville for many years, but we need to update my bio. I heard you say that. I go, oh, it's time to update the bio. We're back. And I grew up in the country with my nine siblings and wonderful
hmm
parents. Grew up Catholic, loved playing my mandolin and guitar, and have yeah, just loved music since I was a little girl.
now did your family they were musical as well?
Yes, so my dad was in a band when he was younger, and he taught all of us to play, but I'm the only one who wanted to do it full time. And but yeah, but growing up, I would play with my sister, Justina, and my sister Tess plays the harp too. So
hmm
it's they come in and out, and they'll jam with me and play some gigs, but they're smarter than me. They're like, I don't want to be on the road this much.
your family, your holidays must be fun. There must be a lot of music involved. Yeah.
It is really fun.
Yeah.
My siblings are my best friends. It's a great gift, so it's always a good time. Even just a couple of us together, it's louder. We're always too loud. That's the problem.
That's great. I've always had admiration for artists who are hard to label, and you seemed to be, between genres like folk and pop and Christian, and then Catholic, which I guess is a subcategory of Christian. Have you always been that way, or has it more been like a progression through the genres?
Yeah, I think because I grew up playing the mandolin, there's always been that influence. So always a folk influence, always I've always been interested in lyrics. I'm a songwriter, and so the music was singer-songwriter driven just because I was writing the music. So, yeah, I would say it's kind of gone it was poppier before. Now it's even more kind of folk acoustic. But the new album has some, there's drums and electric guitars and everything on a couple of the songs. So I I kind of always go back to maybe a certain sound that actually The Way of Love, the title track, really represents.
So, "The Way of Love" is your new album, and that is the entire album based on Saint Therese, or just tell us a little about it, if you would, please.
Yeah, so The Way of Love, I say that she's the patroness of this album. And although the songs are not all about her, The Way of Love is about her. I'm doing a musical presentation, which is a combination of songs and stories that I'm presenting to conferences and high schools and all that kind of thing. And when I do that, each of the songs, even if they're not about her, let's say there's a song about the Eucharist called Sweet Company, I bring in her philosophy, her quotes, her stories about the Eucharist. So
hmm
she's sort of interwoven throughout the whole entire show slash presentation.
hmm how did you get devotion to Saint Therese? How did that come about?
My dad has always had a very strong devotion to St. Therese, and I honestly didn't really relate to her for a really long time. I was a total tomboy growing up. She seemed kind of flowery and kind of didn't really get it.
Literally flowery, right?
Exactly. Yes, right. In so many ways. So I kind of thought, oh, I don't really get it. And then when I started reading about her devotion to the merciful love of God, which I need so much, and when I was looking for someone to help me, because the hardest part about going totally Catholic is that I've always done secular music and Catholic stuff too, and you could kind of hear Catholic influences in my lyrics, but to go totally focused on Catholic music, I was really scared to do that because I'm thinking there's all these holy speakers and these Catholic influencers, and then there's me. How in the world am I going to do this? But Therese's emphasis is on mercy. So it's never about how good you are, but how good God is. And so that's my focus. And that's how I can do this, even though it's hard. When I say, oh, I'm going to go sing, I'm going to talk about God to people, it's like, wow, I'm just so small and I really do this? But Therese helps me through that.
That's amazing, and good for you for following that calling, because I know it's risky, you know. Just but to be in the music industry, that's risky in and of itself. So you must enjoy risk, there, right?
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this yesterday. I actually hate risk, but I continually do it. I don't know
That,
why I keep doing this to myself.
yeah, it must be the Holy Spirit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's drop back a little bit. What was it like to perform for Pope Francis in front of 750,000 people?
It was such a great gift, and I felt so honored, and I felt like I was representing the young adult community because there's such a strong Catholic young adult community all over the country. I've been able to perform for a lot of these events, and I love the Catholic young adult that just is following Christ in the workplace. And so to be able to perform for him felt, although special to do the music, but more it was just special to be on stage with him. I had so many of my friends were in the audience. My family was backstage, and that was just a great gift.
What now you'll go to parishes or to other gatherings and perform the way of love. Kind of walk us through that, if you would. What will people experience during the program?
Yes. So when you go to a Way of Love musical presentation, it's similar to a concert, but with Saint Therese as our guide. So basically, every song has a Saint Therese connection to it. And so I bring her in, I talk about her life and her story, and use a lot of her quotes to help the listener enter in more fully into whatever the message is of the song. Sometimes it's very much more like a concert, but I'm also doing adorations, which is a little bit different. So I'm going to do that at the Basilica of St. Mary in Alexandria, Virginia. And this is where I'm actually going to let a priest talk about St. Therese, and I'm just going to step back and do the music and do some of her quotes as meditation. So it comes in a couple different forms, kind of more the concert style, and then the adoration. I like doing them both. But yeah, it's so fun to sing for Jesus. I think that's a little slightly my favorite.
Is that the this is new to you? This is something that you just began, correct?
Yeah, I did my first musical presentation on the Way of Love in March. So it's not, yeah, it's very young. And honestly, it was on accident. My booking agent told the the promoter or the girl that was having the conference, and she said, oh yeah, Marie can speak on St. Therese, but I actually couldn't. We had a miscommunication. So I spent like weeks studying her because I knew her and I loved her and she was the patroness, but I wasn't able to like present on Therese. And so to talk about Holy Spirit, that's was amazing because it went over really well, and it made me super happy. So I thought, wow, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. So you're going to play for us today. Play
Yeah.
the title track. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Very good. So whenever you're ready.
All right. The roads these feet have seen miles and miles of wandering, searching for glory, praise for the sound of my name, hoping that would stop the ache. The places I have been to know and find out who I am, searching for more affirmation to placate my shame, thinking that would make things change. You pointed me down a different road, the one I was always made to know. How sweet is the way you love? How kind is it that I chose this road like a child, and I'm never turning back. Home at last, I'm never looking back. You're the only way for me. How sweet is the way you love? How kind is it that I chose this road like a child, and I never turn back. Never turning back.
Too bad we don't have a studio audience.
Well, thanks for your clapping.
Very good. Good. That was beautiful. Thanks so much, Marie.
Thank you.
Marie Miller is my guest today on Catholic Forum. The Way of Love is her new album, and Marie is also touring and giving presentations to young adult groups or really any kind of groups who would like to learn a little bit more about St. Therese and experience some of this great music. And I guess our listeners and viewers can go to mariemillermusic.com to get information about bringing you to their parish or school or group, correct?
Yes, exactly. Yep, mariemillermusic.com.
What has been the reaction to your presentation so far?
It's a really special. It's such a gift, and so much freedom to not talk about myself because I've been talking about myself. I've been performing since I was 15, and so I have been songwriting about myself and about my relationships and my friendships and my stories. And to be able to talk about such a great saint who is so helpful to us, who wants to be a help to us. I mean, when Saint Therese was dying, they said, "Will you look down on us?" She said, "No, I will come down." And she truly does. And so I love watching maybe someone who didn't know her before experiencing her for the first time. The greatest compliment that I've gotten so far is that I did this performance at Christendom College, which is a Catholic school out in Front Royal, Virginia. And a young woman came out to me and said, "I just want to go to adoration. That's all I want to do after your presentation." And that is exactly my hope, is that people just want to run to Jesus after this.
That's beautiful. What's next? Are you going to? I know it's probably too soon. You're still just getting this new project off the ground, but you have anything in the hopper for your next project?
Yes, so a lot of performances, and I would love to record some hymns because I am leading music for a lot of adorations right now, and I don't usually sing worship music. I do more of kind of hymns in a little slightly modern style. So I'd love to do that. I think if I'm going to do a saint, my next saint will have to be John Paul II because I love him so much. So I have no idea when you ask. I'm just being honest. That's my dream, but I haven't worked on anything yet for that. But that will probably be my next one.
What do you do in your free time? Is there any special music that you like to listen to, or what do you do when you're not performing or writing or working?
Yeah. So a lot of visiting with my siblings. I love to travel. I went to Guadalupe with my husband and my brother and a good friend just recently. That was super special. I love to go to countries that are just really different than the United States. So I've got to travel to Uganda and China and Japan, um, Peru, and those are that I would say besides music, traveling, and then I love to read too. So those are kind of my favorite things.
How about devotions other than your devotion to Saint Therese? Any special saints that you find inspiring?
Yes. So a very special saint to me is Blessed Carlo Acutis,
Oh yeah.
who is going to be a saint soon in the church. He is the first millennial saint, and would basically he would be 2 years younger than me if he was still alive. And I still have a lot of great guy friends growing up, and it was really a gift to be able to have these really awesome friendships. And so I think of him just like that, as just this good friend that I can confide in a way that I've never experienced with another saint. Special to me.
So what have I missing? What am I missing? What do we need to tell folks about you and your work?
Ooh. Well, I would just say please listen to the music and spread the word. We've got it on all the different streaming platforms: Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff. So wherever you like to listen to music, you can hear The Way of Love on there.
Very good, very good. Marie Miller, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us on Catholic Forum today. And may God continue to bless you and your family and your work.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be talking to you.
When you listen to this episode of Catholic Forum in its entirety on your favorite podcast platform, you'll hear a news update from the dialogue, plus hear a bonus track from Marie Miller's album, The Way of Love.